Hello again, everybody. This is Commodore Urban here with another review of Ship Talk. Now, today, sorry about that. My eye was itching. Crap. Uh, Sorry about that. Okay, there we go. Alright. Anyway, like I was saying, today we're going to have another model review. And this time it is for Revell's RMS Queen Mary. Now the one I'm holding here is from the 1970s, but Revell today still makes this model, but not with this actual box. But Revell still produces the same model in the same scale, which is 1/5/70th scale. Now on this box here it says Queen Mary, 20 3/4 inches long, finely detailed, ready to assemble plastic model kit, and then Revell. And the image, you can tell this is 1970s just by looking at the image on the box. And on the back, on the side panel, it says Queen Mary, a superbly crafted model to please the most demanding modeler. Replica scale model features 20 3/4 inches long, realistically engraved hull, finely detailed deck fixtures, 24 lifeboats and davits, 4 propellers, 2 anchors, mast and cargo loading booms, movable rudder, sports deck area, display stand with nameplate and colorful flags and decal markings. And it says, build her with pride. And on the side here, it gives a little bit of history of the ship. And when this model was made, it says 1971 SQM Licensing Corporation, Long Beach, California. Revell Inc., Venice, California. And in the corner here, this little tiny thing says Queen Mary, City of Long Beach, California. So when this model was released, this version of it, it was the year when the Queen Mary was opened up in Long Beach as a permanently moored hotel. But when the Queen Mary model was first introduced by Revell, it was the mid-1960s. I believe that it was 1963 or 64, I'm not really sure. But now, as for my critique on this model, I've had this model before once when I was younger, and there are some challenges to this particular piece. And with these instruction sheets that I have here for it, I will give you kind of an understanding of how, for starters, if you've ever had the model or you know someone that had the model, you would know that this model is a two-piece hull. And that's really tricky to get those two pieces lined up. But thankfully for me, I have a technique which later on I will show you in another episode of Ship Talk, how to put together a two-piece hull. And then here, you got all these other smaller pieces here, as you can see. The deck fixtures and stuff, you know. And probably one of the more trickier challenges, if you want to see with me, you know, the harder things, I think, with the paint was the upper deck portion, since it's all molded. A lot of these pieces are molded in bigger pieces, and it's harder to paint the details around it. And one of the things I really did not like was putting all the davits and boats on there individually, like it shows on step 7 on step 7. And as you can see here, and finally, there's the final outcome of it right here. Anyway, this particular model, when I got it, also included a drawing that shows the entire ship, which I had that here somewhere. Just hang on just one second. I remember having that somewhere. Now, what in the heck? Now, where God's earth did I have that at now, I don't know. I can't find it right now, but Came with this long piece of paper that showed the side view of the ship, basically kind of like a technical drawing, and showed you everything inside of the vessel. But now, I'm actually going to show you what the finished product looks like if you take your time and do it. And also, you don't exactly follow the instructions, but you follow what you know what's right about the Queen Mary, like me. I've studied the ship for a while, so I know what she looks like, and ta-da! Pretty incredible, isn't it? And the thing is, it tells you, but here's the thing, it tells you to paint the funnels red, and it says Cunard, and that means Cunard line red, like the color of the funnels. But the thing is, there is no Cunard line red, but I will give you a secret. One of my little trade secrets for making Cunard line red. And I will show you the colors that I use to create this color. Now, to create Cunard line red, you will need Model Masters Guards Red, as you see here. You can get it from Hobby Lobby for like $3.79 a jar. And you will need a little bit of yellow gloss. And what you do is you get so much, like a little puddle of red, about yay big, and just put a couple small drops about that about that big into the center of it, and you swirl it. And then if it starts turning kind of oranges, just put a little drop of red in there and kind of mix it up, because Cunard line red wasn't really red. It was kind of an orangish red. So if it's kind of a reddish color with orange tone to it, you got it right, because Cunard line red was orange, kind of a reddish orange color. So anyway, if you can see here with the model, and I'll try to show you here, or you know what, I'll just hang on a moment. I'll just grab this here real quick and I'll show you. So this is what it looks like once it's all completed. So, not too bad looking, actually. So it wasn't too bad of a model really put together. I mean, it was really easy to paint too. That's what I really like about Revell models, because they're white plastic, and it makes it so much easier to paint and detail these things. And so for overall appearance wise, I will give it a 9.8, just because, it's kind of smaller. It's a smaller model, but it's still got the striking good looks of the ship, and also it's got the clean classic lines. And if any ship guy was to see this model, sitting proudly on a shelf or whatever, they say, "Oh, that's the Queen Mary," because it's so easily. Now, as for painting, I will give it a painting of a 8.5, because it's really easy to paint. It really is. But at the same time, if you don't know what you're doing, you make a mistake, it's really hard to correct the mistake. So, and also for assembly, I will give it a 9 on assembly, because it's easy to assemble. The instructions are clear, they're easy to follow, and it was a really interesting model. But if you want to find this model, you can go to either your local hobby shop, should have one, or if you're like me, you like older model kits, go on eBay and you can find this particular kit like I have here, this exact one. You can find it between 20 to 40 bucks depending on what it is. And if you want the original one from the 60s, you might want to be willing to pay a little bit more, about 45, 60 bucks if you're wanting to go that direction. But since we're talking about the Queen Mary, I thought I would bring up another piece that I have in my collection. I don't actually own anything from the Queen Mary, but I own this book, Ocean Liners of the Past, Volume 6, the Cunard White Star Quadruple Screw Liner Queen Mary. And this book is basically a facsimile of the shipbuilder and marine engine builders uh, souvenir issue for the Queen Mary when she entered service. As you can see right there. And basically, it's basically a technical journal that explains everything about the construction of the Queen. Yeah.
Do you know where the cheese sauce is?
The cheese sauce?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the fridge closest to the washer and dryer on the bottom thing before the first crisper.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry about that, about the interruption here, but like I was saying earlier, this book, it's a very interesting book to own if you can get your hands on it. I was very lucky to get this. This was a gift. And this gives you a really good insight to how the ship was built and everything else. And if you don't have the money like I do to buy the original, well, there's a picture of the ship on the back of it. But anyway, if you don't have the money like I don't, really, for the original issue of the souvenir, shipbuilder, marine engine builder for the Queen Mary from 1936, and this is good to go. But this is really expensive book, and if you really want this, I've seen them go on Amazon for about $100 to $200, depending on if it's got the dust jacket or not. Since this one's got a dust jacket, it's probably close to the $200 range. But that's just me personally, if you're wanting a book on the ship. But like I said, though, overall, the Queen Mary model that I have, the Queen Mary model here, like I said, like I have. Oh, and I did the base up too. See, the base is gold with gold and black lettering. But anyway, so like I said, overall for the Queen Mary model, it's a very easy model to paint. It's very easy to assemble, and with just a little bit of time and a little bit of knowledge, you can really make this definitely a piece to definitely for people to be staring at for a long time. And that is my critique on Revell's RMS Queen Mary. So until next time on Ship Talk, this is Commodore Urban saying, happy sailing, my good friends.